Well, hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Windy City Block by Block Real Estate Show. I am your host, Dawn Haley, and I am so happy to be here. I do my very best to give you some tidbits on buying and selling and sharing some of my stories that I can share because I have to provide a level of confidentiality for my clients. But certainly I can deal with some of the certain things that without exposing any confidentiality. So, how's everybody doing? I know it's Wednesday. You're probably now getting again. I always say y'all probably getting the kids rustled up, trying to get something to eat and relax because you've been working all day. So hopefully I can add a little bit of flavor to your evening as it relates to real estate, because maybe you may not be thinking about buying right now, maybe in the future, or even selling right now, but you just want to get yourself some information so you can begin to start planning. And I say, even though you may not use me, and I do understand that because, you may have someone else that you're already thinking of. But if I can give you something to take with you that can help you in making the right decision, either you're buying or selling, then I'm okay with that. But now let me say this: if you are looking for a realtor in the near future, or you know someone who is looking for a realtor in the near future, then man, I've been doing this for 30 years, quite a long time. So I hope that you at least tell somebody, hey, you know what? I've been listening to this lady. She seems to know what she's talking about. And you might want to just give her a call. And I'm excited. I'm excited. My glasses might be a little dirty. My husband didn't even tell me my glasses look dirty. So I got to take them off. Been a little busy day today, I guess. I'm sorry I missed you guys last week. I had another engagement and I needed to, I think that's better. Oh, yes, I see much better now. Had another engagement, so was hard for me to do my live show. So I hope that any of you that watched me the last time, I try to share a few things. The last time I talked, I had a seller that was doing a home inspection. And I did not, I don't know, someone's trying to come into the studio, but I had a seller that was doing a home inspection. And, the buyer decided they wanted to invite their mother, their father, their grandfather, and uncle who knew a little bit about housing, I guess, or construction, I guess. And my client, had to ask them to leave. And I think I shared that their feelings were hurt, particularly the relatives, because they were asked to leave. Heck, it's COVID. I mean, come on now. I mean, you shouldn't have to give an excuse where this is COVID. And the ideal is you want to have is the only people you want in that home inspection, again, is the inspector, the buyer, and the agent, if they're able to show. Well, this agent didn't show. She didn't even prepare her client for what a home inspection is entails. So the buyer got upset, emotionally upset. The family members got upset, and they decided to cancel the contract. So the moral of that story is, when you're doing your home inspection, is the key people, as I explained, those are the ones that need to be there. The inspector, the realtor should do a very good job explaining what a home inspection entails. Because I had that just last week, or maybe a week and a half ago. I had a client that I could not, unfortunately, make the home inspection. It was a conflict in time, but they needed to have that home inspection, because one thing about home inspections, you've got to have them within a specific time. Anytime after that, then you could jeopardize not at least having the home inspected. And there could be some things that after it's all said and done, you may not want to buy that house. But I couldn't be there. So I went through I went through everything with my client that, listen, it'll be you and the inspector and your spouse. Those are the only ones that I was able to get approved for you to go inside the property. And you know what? They were okay with that. They understood. Okay, no problem, Dawn. And they had the inspection. And um, mm, all I'm gonna say is, all I'm gonna say is, let me see who I got on. I got some people commenting, because I'm doing this by myself, guys. So bear with me. Hey, good evening, Dorita. How you doing? Shanice, good evening. How y'all doing? Thanks for popping in. But the moral of the story, once I coming up with a moral, I got excited seeing the folks on there. But, I know what I want to say. I'm sorry. How can I say this? I don't want to be so negative, but these contractors, these investors, guys, you really got to start doing a better job. Man, I think I said it earlier. I know you want to make a good piece of change, but you guys got to start looking at the important things, the structure, the foundation, electrical. Yeah, okay. You got all the bells and whistles, and I give you that. But you guys got to start, man, you guys got to start doing a better job. But nonetheless, my client had a very good attorney, my daughter, that was able to work on all the things that they were concerned about. So hopefully we're moving forward. The other thing is, Cal City, man, Calumet City. You got to love them. I had a client, my clients, had to do a reinspect. And, I'm thinking, man, okay, you noted some things on the first inspection. Okay, when you come out on the second inspection, why not get a brand new sheet of whatever your concerns are, and then start to mark off, all right, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. No, they want to take the old inspection and just write an initial. Now, what sort of problem can that create? Well, if it was my buyer client, they would be in their right to say, well, you know what, the seller could just write on there and initial it that it was done, that it's done, that it's done. How do we, of course they can go to the to the village hall, but come on, guys, just what's wrong with having a clean slate? Note what the seller did, my client did, and now anybody who's interested in my client's property, then they'll see, okay, there's no issues that the city is having with this particular property. Just people, just take an extra step. Okay, so much for that. Well, I did back in about 6 years ago up to 2019, I was the compliance manager for a village. And I learned a lot. I really did. I learned a lot, as it relates to compliance and making sure landlords and were doing what they were supposed to be doing. Okay. One of the things that helped me in terms of helping my clients, because you always want to grab wherever you can grab in terms of making yourself stand out among other realtors. And I feel because I was a compliance manager, that gives me an edge over a lot of realtors. And so I say to you buyers, if you're interested in any property, I don't care what suburb it's in, even the city of Chicago, and big ups for the city of Chicago, but it may not always expose anything, but you should always, because there's, unfortunately, people are losing properties, banks are taking over, and they don't guarantee nothing. So that means yeah, it's a great buy. You at least feel like you've done enough of your homework to determine whether this property is something that you want to tackle. And most investors, they'll go with those risks. But if you are a buyer and you find a property that it's not, it's doable, has good bones, it needs to be updated and a few other things. But what you want to do is you want to foyer, that's freedom of information. You want to foyer whatever community, the city of Chicago, like I said, and I'll talk about what they're doing. You want to foyer it so you can at least find out if there's been any previous code violations, if there's anything current going on, so that can be a part of your decision making. Now, foyers are not in the contract, so you may want to talk to your attorney and say, hey, I'm interested in this property because remember, I don't know, maybe, no, I don't think. But anyway, I did a podcast, which if you're interested, it's a podcast that's called Buyer Beware. And if you're interested, I'll hopefully post it on my chain there so you can check it out. But anyway, you want to explain to your attorney, you'd like to do the foyer. And so they'll do their legal whatever to try to give you a little time to get that foyer, because technically they're supposed to, when you foyer something, you're supposed to get it within a certain period of time. But it's COVID, who knows how much time they may take. But with the city of Chicago, I'm going to try to bring up the screen. Let's see. Yes, the city of Chicago, they will, and they're smart. I like how they're doing it. What they will do, they will let you you can order the report. You can order the report, and instead of waiting for the foyer, they may have information on there that you can check out to see if there's any violations that may be on the building with permits. And if you're able to get some information that way, that's cool. It doesn't require any paperwork. You just need to go onto their site, agree to some terms that they're asking you to agree to, and then you can pull up the information. So that's cool. And I would encourage, let me get that out. I would, there I am. Like I said, I'm doing this on my own, but I would encourage other communities, because let's face it, virtual, electronic, all that's pretty much what people want to be able to do. The ideal of speaking to people all the time. Some of you new folks, all you want to do is click and print. But I like what the city of Chicago is doing. If you want to get some information on a property that maybe the seller may not tell you about, or maybe they don't even know. I'm not going to say that people are always trying to hide something. But again, buyer beware. Don't always assume that the information is going to be handed to you. Sometimes you have to do your own due diligence. But if you have a realtor who's aware of some things that maybe some other realtors may not, again, 30 years, I should know a little something, that'll help you in terms of being able to get as much information as you can, because there's nothing worse than you wanting to say to your realtor, how come you didn't know that? And sometimes the realtor can't catch everything. And that's why you have all the professionals coming in which we're going to talk about in the next segment. But guess what? I love to talk about interesting things about real estate, but I like to break it up too. So I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm either going to talk about tools to give to the sellers or tools to give to the buyers. And whichever I do first, then the next one will come in the next segment. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay. Hope you enjoy this joint.
Broken future, all the plans you made in your heart grew just to die. damaged goods, damn it should have never been. Thought you were bulletproof, look at you, what happened? Did she hurt you? Are you okay, baby? Everyone gets hurt, that's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby, baby, don't cry no more. Just let her walk out your door. Baby, don't cry no more. Mama's here. I wrote a lullaby for you. Yeah. Wasted loving all the nights I spent wondering why we couldn't be. Ooh. And now that you're alone, you're on my phone, running game. But maybe, baby, when it settles in that you're to blame, we could move on, pick up where we went wrong, baby. Everyone gets hurt, that's how we learn to make love work. It's part of life, but if you need a lullaby, baby, don't cry no more. Just let her walk out your door. Baby, don't cry no more. Mama's here, 'cause maybe in time you'll see, maybe I can be all you need. Yeah, lay all your love on me. Mama's here. Oh, I wrote a lullaby for you. No, no, no.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that little joint. I'm trying to just mix it up. I think I said it earlier. I'm trying to mix it up so that you're just not hearing my voice. I'm also giving you a little bit of entertainment to go along with it. And so I'm just going to drink me a little bit of water. Thank you. I decided, let's talk about buyers first, okay? Buyers. Let's talk about you guys first. If you are thinking about buying real soon, or you have maybe someone in your family is thinking about buying, some of the things that you want to start thinking about, and of course, you can go online, and don't get me wrong, you can get a lot of information, but why not hear from the horse's mouth? What you need to do. Somebody who is actually in the trenches to be able to speak to you, because I'm talking to this camera, but I'm almost like you're sitting across the room and I'm talking to you. So let's say you're ready to buy, someone who's looking to buy. There are some things you want to really do first. And getting started is the first thing, getting started, wanting to, maybe you're renting and you're like, man, we're paying $1,200 for a 2-bedroom house, or heck, if you're paying $1,000 for a two-bedroom house, that's a lot of money to be given away to somebody else. And yeah, okay, your credit might, you think that your credit may not be copacetic because you may have had some blemishes, and you think, okay, maybe we need to put it off because you think your credit may not be where it should be. And I get that. I get that, because there are things that has to be in place in order for you to buy a house, and your credit is one of the most important things. And I think in my previous show, I talked about this non-for-profit organization. I really like what they're doing. Neighborhood housing. They have programs that are free, that you can take in order to get yourself financially healthy. And I plan to bring a young lady on who's doing financial counseling, and she can talk about some of those things. But for now, we're going to just talk about what you need to do to get started. So one, again, like I said, you need to do some homework. And a lot of times people their homework starts with Zillow and websites like Zillow. And you kind of get an idea of what you think you might be interested in. And that's good. But I will tell you one thing about Zillow, and it did happen to me just recently. Zillow is not always up to date with some of their listings, but it's still, and I'm not dogging Zillow, but it's still a good place to start if you're starting to think of areas that you want. And of course, drive around areas that you think you might be interested in. That's a start. Now, with COVID, there's not a lot of open homes right now. So you don't have the luxury of actually physically going into many houses. But there are virtual, even though I know that's not the same, there are virtual properties that you can take a look at, because that may be your first start. And oftentimes, realtors would like to know that you've at least spoken with a loan officer. So that would be, once you've made a decision that you're thinking about buying, your first stop, even before you talk to a realtor. And I know realtors like, oh, why you say that for? Yeah, I mean, you want to you want to be proactive about your journey to home ownership. So what's wrong with you going to a lender? And I'll tell you, reason why we like to have you come to us first is that we have loan officers that we've worked with for years, and we know our partners, and we know that they can get the job done. And if it's a challenging situation, then we know, because of our relationships with our loan officers, that they will be honest and straightforward with you, instead of having you dance around, try to do things, and at the end of the day, you can't get the financing. So that's okay. So that's one of the reasons why we like for you to come to us first in choosing your loan officer. But is that out of the way for you to do that first? No, because you may not. Let's say you just want to know your health, and you may not want to introduce yourself to a realtor starting out. You just want to know where you are, and that's okay. So, but the main thing is you want to know where you are, and in starting to know where you are, then your loan officer, he or she, will sit down with you and explain the processes. And you want to listen very closely to the processes, and don't try to figure you can get around some of those processes, because some people actually think they can. But when it comes down to putting everything together, you might slip it past the loan officer. But who's going to have the final say so about your loan is an underwriter. And just picture an underwriter like the Internal Revenue Service. They're going to pick and pry and see if there's some inconsistencies in the things that you have put forth, and it's not panning out. Case in point, loan officers, mortgage companies, tend to want to see a 3-year history of your tax returns, but they're going to take another step forward. They're going to be getting something from the Internal Revenue Service that matches up with what you're providing them. So basically what I'm saying is what you're telling the loan officer that you make is got to match with what you're telling the Internal Revenue Service. So you can't be making, I'm only giving a number here, not to say that that's it. You can't be making 100,000 and then telling the Internal Revenue Service you're only making 70, because then that the red flag is going to go up in terms of your what amount of money you're qualifying, and then that can stop you. So and then you just want to make sure everything you're doing is on the up and up when you're applying for your mortgage. You want to many of the buyers may not have all the money that they need. Typically, you're going to look at anywhere between 5%, unless you're looking at a grant that could give you what you need to help put your down payment. But oftentimes, I know I use that word oftentimes, you look for the seller to assist with the closing costs, but that's not a given. That is not a given. Certain areas, yes, but some sellers are not giving you anything. You want to buy, you got to figure it out. Now, if in case you are short on cash, you can always get a gift, but that gift money has got to have a paper trail. You just can't grab that money out the the mattress and say, boom, there it magically is there in your checking account or saving account. No, everything has to be a paper trail. So just remember, when you're sitting down with your loan officer, you make sure you understand all the things that it's going to take for you to get a loan. And if for some reason you need time, let's say 4 or 5 months to get yourself together, that's still not a long time, because 4 or 5 months can just go by like that, especially when you're starting to prepare for a purchase, because you may need time to save up some more money after you sit down and you look at what you qualify for and what you really can afford, because those are two different things. What you qualify for may be 200,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there. That's not saying that that's what it is. But what you qualify for is 200,000. But when you start to look at your budget tells you, I only can do 125,000 because that's what I can afford. And if you're a 2-income borrower, I would always try to see you can base it on, yes, both of you qualify for it. But I would recommend to my clients that you really try to focus on your budget on one income, because we are living in uncertain times. And even now, and it's COVID today, it can be something tomorrow. Jobs are good today and jobs can be not so tomorrow. So if you've got it set on one income, then if the bottom somewhat loosens a little bit, at least you can keep the boat floating. But for one income, is really not a whole lot you can do. And but I look at it, you got to pay rent. So why not buy a house if you can and get those few deductions that we still have left? So that's some things right there in terms of financing. Your down payment. Again, like I said, loan officers are going to try to make certain you got enough money that you can qualify for whatever amount that you're looking to purchase. And they want to make sure, because they don't want to get you all the way up to, day of close and you can't buy. So you want to make sure, if you need time to save money, if you need time to get your credit together, then that can be what those months can be used for. Doesn't mean you can't buy. I like the saying that this one loan officer says when he gets a client who's not right now. You're just not right now. You're just not buying ready now, but that doesn't mean you won't be in the future. So that's that's a very good point. So and then the other thing too We talked about lender. You want to find the right real estate agent. Now, are there good real estate agents that's only been in the business for a couple of years? Of course it is. I mean, I started uh, 30 years ago fresh, and I considered myself a very good agent. So I think that you have to, just like with any relationship, you just have to find a realtor that you feel confident that they are looking out for your best interest. And we can typically feel people out. And if you feel like your realtor isn't listening to you, that they're not providing you with the service that you feel that you should be getting, then at that point you need to sit down and talk to your realtor and say, hey, it's not working out. I know I signed something that said I would work with you, but things are just not working out if you haven't found something that you want to purchase. You have to have a good feeling for a realtor. How do you find them? Well, a lot of times you guys are looking online to find them, and sometimes oftentimes you'll find someone who recommends someone, because there's no better referral than somebody that has used your service. So I mean, so be very due diligent, if that's a word, in finding the person to work out with you, because they can make this process a nightmare, or they can make this one of the best experiences that you've ever had in one of the most major purchases in your life. Because when you do this, you plan to be in that house for at least, unless you're looking to buy and flip, but you're looking to live in that house for a while. So you want to make sure that that experience is a great one. Now, of course, there are other things that you want to get into. Let's see, how is my time? I'm doing pretty good here. You want to make sure that when your realtor has, when you've decided on your realtor and you're working with them, you want to make sure that you separate your wants and your needs, because your wants and your needs could be two different things. Your want could be, I want a 5-bedroom house with a master bathroom and 3 other bathrooms and a finished basement. But once the dust settles and you see how much that house is worth, then you can start to peel away at what is reasonable or rational in terms of you moving forward. And I'm just gonna put a little caveat in here, and I still plan to bring this loan officer on, because buyers are missing golden opportunities because they want a house that's ready made and has everything in there that they want. That kind of house, you're going to end up paying more for it in the long run. And if that market goes south on you because you bought at the highest value, market value for the property that you were interested in, you're at the highest, and then the market starts to fluctuate down, then now you're instantly in an underwater mortgage. So that's why I say there are opportunities out here that buyers are just not taking advantage of, because the house does not have all the bells and whistles, a new kitchen, a new bathroom, a finished basement, but yet it has great bones to work from, that you can gradually do some things, or even get the financing to buy it and get the rehab money for it, and you come out having equity in your house. But again, I'm just going to be an advocate for that. I have to be, because I'm just seeing so many people buying at the top of the market, and they could have gotten something to maybe work their way up, and with equity. Because that's how, real estate will always be, even though with COVID, a lot of investors are struggling, landlords are struggling because people can't pay their rent. Real estate still is a way that you can build wealth, because eventually the market does turn. You just have to wait it out if you can. Now, and talking about offers, I can get into the offers, but yeah, I guess I will. You just want to make sure, once you find a property, that your realtor does a market analysis, so that you know where that property is in terms of the market, if the seller is asking too much money, or if it's right at the market, or even if it's a good deal. So before you put an offer on a property, you should always get a current market analysis and be able to make a informed decision on what you feel is the best position. And if you know you're in a marketplace where sellers are not paying closing costs, and you ask for them, and you lose out because you asked, then your realtor has already educated you. So you know, okay, you told me, I did it, we didn't get it. Okay, I know better the next time. Or if it's in an area where sellers are paying closing costs, then you want to know that too. You want to know if it's in a buyer's market, if it's in a seller's market, because if it's in a buyer's market, then you have a better opportunity to negotiate. But if it's in a seller's market, all bets are off, because you've got more buyers contending with you, along with you contending on that property. And oddly enough, I'm finding, even though it's towards the end of the year and the market cools off a little bit around this time, because people are not in the market because of a lot of things in the market, waiting for their income tax check so they can be out in the market again. But I'm still seeing competition in the marketplace, and that's good. I want competition to remain. And I mean, I just hate to be on the end where my client doesn't get the property, but just for the sake of my clients, my sellers, I'm glad that it's still a very competitive market, even though we've got a whole bunch of dark things going on. So, so yes, so you want to make sure when you make that offer that you are, you know where your position is, so that you can't be blindsided. Let's see, somebody else has said hi to me. Let's see, I'm doing this by myself, guys, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to get good at this, but love the song. Oh, great, thanks. But anyway, so you just want to make sure that your realtor's got you in a good position. They're very skilled at negotiating. You don't want a realtor who's kind of unsure about negotiating, because then that could be a problem for you. You want to make sure they're comfortable, and they are not aggressive to the point that they're just blowing everything down, but just aggressive enough to be able to understand where you are and how to best position you, that hopefully your offer gets accepted. Okay. Now, there are things that happen once you put that contract down, and you want to make sure your attorney is in place. You want to make sure your attorney's in place. You want to make sure whoever you're getting your insurance from, or do your due diligence to find out about insurance companies, your home inspectors. And let me go back to the insurance company. Why is that important? Well, if you're buying a home where the seller has made several claims on the property, that when you're considering getting the insurance on it, which you'll need to bring that's another topic, another conversation of another time, at another time. But when you're getting ready to close, you'll have to go and you need to bring in a year's policy to the closing table, because your insurance has to be paid up for the whole year when you go to the table. And so if the seller has filed several complaints, or not complaints, but policies, or not policies. What is the word I'm looking for? Several, it's not policy, but made claims. That's what it is. Claims on the property. Then let's say their insurance was like $800 or $700, but now when you are looking at getting it, it's now $1,200. That can mean a lot when you're looking at your mortgage payment. So if in fact you find out within your contingency in the contract, and again, like I said, you need to go through the whole contract and understand, and I'm going to do that one day. But there's a contingency in the contract where it gives you an opportunity to check on the insurance on that property. And if that insurance quote is so high, that is a time for you to sit down with your attorney and say, I can't do it. And then your attorney will go about null and voiding the contract. So that's why it's so important to have all those players in place. Now, we're going to take another break because I didn't get a chance to go through all the goodies for the buyer. But see, that's one of the good things about having my show. I can talk about all this stuff. But we're going to take a break. And when I come back, it's your turn, sellers. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the nuggets that you need to know. So I hope you enjoy this joint, and I'll be right back.
I'll be missing you, love. Yeah, I'll be missing you, love. And the good times that we had, I'll be missing you, love. I'll be missing you and your love, your love, your love. When I think of you and the two of us together, it felt so good for so long. It was you and me forever. Now you walk away, maybe for the better. So tell me something true. Will you miss my love? Will you miss my love? All the good times that we had. Will you miss my love? Will you miss me and my love, my love, my love? When I see you again, I wanna show you how I love you. You were my one true friend, and I cherish every moment I got to spend with you. I have so much inside of me, I wanna tell you something true. I've been missing you, love. Yeah, I've been missing you, love. All the good times that we had, I've been missing you, love. I've been missing you and your love, your love, your love. I don't wanna waste your time, I don't wanna change your mind. Are you better off alone? Girl, you stole my heart, and I'm losing you. I'm losing you. I'm still missing you, love. Yeah, I'm still missing you, love. All the good times that we had, I'm still missing you, love. I'm still missing you and your love, your love, your love. Oh baby, I'm still missing you. Oh.
Hey, how you doing? I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that too. As I'm looking at my time, I really deep dived into some of the processes for buyers. And so what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is next week, if there's any sellers, I will go over some tidbits and some nuggets for you so I can share the information and make sure that I'm covering all aspects of buying and selling. Because if I go into the little tidbits for sellers, I can at least say this: sellers, listen. Um, if you got your house on the market and right now, it's slowing down. It is slowing down for some, and you haven't gotten a buyer yet, that's the time maybe you need to sit down and have a conversation with your realtor. Because if it's been over 45, 60 days and you haven't gotten a buyer, then what's happening is your home is being used to help sell your competition. And you are not on the market to help sell your competition. You're on the market to get your home sold. And I know it hurts to consider coming down on your price. I know it hurts because even though we may say to you that this is the list price and this is a good place for your home to be, markets change constantly. And again, with COVID, it really fluctuated that market. Some areas are still seeing a strong surge, but some areas are starting to make some slight correction. And what may have been strong in the summertime is starting to weaken towards the end of the year. So if you are having showings, that's great. I'm glad you're having showings. But if you're not getting any type of offer or anything, then that means it's time that you probably need to sit down with your realtor and talk about, okay, what do we do? What is a realistic, what should I realistically do if I want to try to get my home sold? And that's not always a bad thing, because when an appraiser comes in, they're going to look at market trend to determine the value of your property. And then, you know what? And it may be, depending on, and see, realtors, and it's our fault. We're just not considered enough. And I hate to say that about my own industry. But case in point, I got a call today from an appraiser. I had sold a building a little over a year ago. And he called. He wanted to know just some inside information about the property. Now, if I had felt like, yes, I'm not making any money on this call, forget that appraiser. But our other professionals need us to help with the market and helping it may not be helping directly your pocket. I'm talking to the realtor. I'm talking to the realtor talking to you. But a realtor has to really understand that, yeah, it may not indirectly affect your pocket, but as an industry, we need to keep our game up there, because the algorithms and the virtual information that's out there, they can actually take over if we don't stop to think about the consumer and how we can help them, even if it doesn't directly affect us. So I called this appraiser back and I gave him whatever information. He was actually, oh, you called me back? Yeah, you called me. I'm going to call you back. So, I called him and I gave him the information that, help him to derive at whatever he's trying to get for a project that he's working on. But going back to realtors, we have to be good about at least providing some feedback. Okay, your client is not interested in the property. I get that, but can you at least share why your client's not interested in the property? Could you tell us it because of the price or whatever? We just need to do a better job in supporting each other, our colleagues in this business, to help support and maintain the professionalism to help you, the consumer, in determining what you want to do in the marketplace. So I said that all that to say to my sellers. But the other thing too is we've got a lot of sellers that are selling as is, and I get it. I'm not doing anything, but as is sometimes can turn buyers off because they might be thinking, "Oh God, there's work that has to be done." Sometimes you're just saying as is I'm not doing anything else. This is what it is. So maybe you just make if it is the fact that you're getting people in and the as is, or you may not be getting people in because of the as is, maybe you need to just revisit that word, that if it's just there because you're not doing anything, there's not major work that needs to be done. You're just saying to the buyer, this is what I'm giving you and I'm not doing anything else. If you find anything that you want to update, it's on you. But sometimes that can be a deterrent from people being interested in your property if you're using that word just to just to emphasize you're not doing anything. There's nothing wrong with your house. You're just saying you're not doing anything. So that's something that you may want to consider. But I'm excited because I have an app. Yay! I got an app, and I want to share my app. If I may I share my app? I'm gonna take me off, and I'm gonna bring my little mouse. Oh, there it is. All right, I'm gonna just show my app. I have an app that I am so excited about, and what's different than just a website is I also have a lot of resources that you can click to and read about, and I'm constantly updating my app. I have some podcasts. Actually, I have my Windy City podcast where I talk about different things. I really do a deeper dive into different topics. And then I have my little personal podcast where I just talk about life. So that's one of the exciting things. And if you're interested, let me see, I'm trying to go back. Oh, there we go. And if you're interested, at the bottom of my app, you can download it, and it's available on Apple as well as Google. And so I'm just really excited about it. I'm still in the building process. So if you visit it, you'll see different things added on there. But please, 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 please share with your download it. I'm trying to get me back, guys. I'm coming back. Here we are. Download it and share it with your friends. And again, like I said, I plan to keep adding information. I need to put my listings up there. I'm gonna do a little something different with my listings so that when you're looking at it, you'll enjoy watching it. So I'm pretty excited about my app website. So please type in Asaga Realty and download the app. It's free. The only thing you have to do is just register. Okay, so that's some exciting news, and I'm really excited about that. Now I understand there are some questions. My producer Daddy said there were some questions, but I don't see any questions. I don't mind answering questions, but if you do have some questions, I'm gonna run my website across. There's my website. If you like, you can just link to my website. And and if you want to send me an email, there's my email floating across the bottom. And then if you want to call me, there's my phone number. So, but I had a really good time, a great time, at least sharing. The next time I come back, did you have something? I don't have my phone. You gotta bring my phone. I'm talking to my producer D. I'm sorry, but anyway, I had a good time. I'm sorry to the potential sellers. I will come back. Matter of fact, I won't be back next week. I'm going to take a little break, but I'll be back the beginning of January. But please check out my website, share, And if you should have any questions, send me a text, an email, a call. And guess what? Today is a good day to find your realtor. That's Dawn Haley, a Saga Realty. But listen, guys, I really, really had a great time. We're going to cap this off this evening. I hope everybody is safe and stay safe. I always end with take care of yourself, exercise, the face mask, the social distancing. Look out for your elderly. Please look out for your elderly and think about them. And be safe out there. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. All right. And I won't charge you anything. So wait a minute. Here are some questions. Let's see. I am currently doing a 203K. Any advice? Okay, my advice to you would be to ask your loan officer, are they experienced in this field? Because I'm going to have a guy on, and I know this may or may not be answering your question, but I have a guy coming on in January, and we're going to talk about 203K. Because again, like I said, a lot of buyers are missing out on opportunity. You just want to make sure that the lender that you're using is experienced in doing 203Ks, because a lot of lenders may have it as one of their features or one of their products, but may not necessarily be that experienced in it. It shouldn't take any more than 60 days to close. But if they are doing it for the first time, maybe, or not really familiar with it can last longer than that. So you just want to make sure. And what I learned from this one loan officer is that the particular company that he works for, that's their niche. Their niche is 203Ks. It's not like, okay, here comes a 203K. Let's do it. No, that's their niche. So that's the word I'm looking for. Make sure that the mortgage company that you're using, that is a niche of theirs, and that they have a history of completing these 203Ks. Next question. I've owned a B4, but now with taxes and the amount of the cost, please tell me the advantage right now for buying. Well, the advantage right now, if you're renting, you're not getting the deductions, for sure. What I would say is we're doing it personally ourselves. We are appealing our taxes. What tends to happen is when the assessor's office determines what their budget is for the year, then they assess properties based on the keyword, an algorithm. And so they're going to collectively grab those algorithms and determine what your assessed value is. Many folks who understand the system understands that, look, I'm going to appeal my taxes, and I am going to hire an attorney that does that. And a lot of people don't want to pay an attorney, but you want to hire an attorney that does it because they know what they're doing. And so we've been appealing ours now for the last, 3 or 4 years. And I have been doing it myself, but I come to understand that you want the people who are in the trenches, who this is their niche, to help get you the most money off your assessed value, because the assessor's office is going to collect their money. Now, who is going to be their biggest contributor is how they fill their coffer. And you as a consumer need to appeal your taxes as often as you can to at least lower them, because that can be the difference of you keep staying in your house or you selling it. So hopefully that helped you with appealing your taxes. And one little interesting note, which I don't mind going over my time. One little interesting note, I attended a webinar. And if you find a property that you're interested in and the taxes may be a little bit high, once you sign that contract, you can go after appealing those property taxes, even though the title has not changed. And when the attorney told me that, I'm like, really? So if you're interested in knowing about getting some information on that attorney that recommended that you can do that, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to give you that attorney's information. So hopefully that answered those two questions that we had. But again, I had a really great time. And until we meet again, which will be the beginning of January, everybody, again, be safe and be careful and peace.
How do we get this low? You come over and we start a fight. Never know who's wrong or right. Feel nothing when you go. I know it's not intelligent, drinking for the hell of it, but that's irrelevant now. We should talk about us. How come we're holding on? Cause really I don't see the benefits now. And you've broken my trust, so I just wonder, why do I fall back to you? Really nothing I can do about it. Why do I fall back to you? It's like you're a drug to me, I can't quit. It's not like we're still 22, trying something new, just a pastime. I don't think that we ever could work this out. None of it makes sense, there's no reason why I still fall back to you. I should probably let you go. I know I can be cynical, make everything difficult, but it would take a miracle now to fix our problems. How come we're holding on? 'Cause really I don't see the benefits now, and you've broken my trust, so I just wonder,